Hello, very good evening to one and all gathered here. First, let me introduce myself to you. My name is Hisana and I'll be one of your subject tutor in biology. Welcome to 90 plus PCM model tuition, personalized chapter model tuition. So, this is our exam special material discussion class of our chapter Forest Our Lifeline. So, this is grade 7. The name of our chapter we are going to discuss today is Forest Our Lifeline. So I hope you know about the basic idea of this chapter, right? So you might have attended all our previous sessions. You might have written our daily based exams also, right? So you know the basic concept of this chapter. So in this particular session, we aim you to prepare yourself for the upcoming examination related to this particular chapter. So in this session, we will be discussing some of the core important questions such as that of MCQ questions, assertion and reasoning questions, case study questions, and some of the essay type questions from this particular chapter. So I hope you are ready. So shall we start our session? Yes. Okay, fine. So coming to the first session of this chapter, see, we are going to discuss some of the important MCQ questions from this chapter. Shall we start? Okay. Coming to the question number one. Coming to question number one, why did some people object to build a factory by clearing part of the forest near the town? So the question is, why did some people have a problem with clearing the forest near a town for something, for any other purposes? So why do people have some sort of problems, dears? Let's dig into the options first. Okay. Option A, they wanted more land for farming. No, right? They want more land for farming. That is some sort of a selfish kind of means, right? No, that is not. Forest serves as a green lungs and water purifying system. That might be an ideal answer, right? So option B will be the right answer. They dislike factories. No, that is not an appropriate answer. They wanted to build a house instead. That is also not an appropriate or an ideal answer, right? So why some people object to build a factory by clearing part of the forest? Yes, yes, there shows the significance of forest, right? What was the significance of forest? Yes, forest serves as green lungs and water purifying system. So forest will serve as green lungs, right? They also serves as a water purifying system. So that is why some people object to build a factory by clearing the part of a forest. So option B will be the right answer. Clear? Shall we go to the next question? Okay, coming to the question number 2. Forest helps in maintaining the balance of which two gases in the atmosphere? This is a very easy question, right? So what are the two major gases that is necessary for our survival, for the living organisms to survive? What are the major two gases, dears? We know that, right? We need oxygen. For what? We need oxygen for respiration. So we need oxygen for respiration and carbon dioxide. We need carbon dioxide for what? For photosynthesis, right? For photosynthesis. So these are the two major source of gases which will helps to breathe as well as to obtain food. So without these two gases, the living organisms are not able to survive. We know that. So forest helps in maintaining the balance of which two gases in the atmosphere, dears? Yes, oxygen and nitrogen is not the correct answer. Nitrogen and carbon dioxide, hydrogen and oxygen. The correct answer will be option B, right? Option B, oxygen and carbon dioxide will be the right answer. So forest helps in maintaining the balance of which two gases in the atmosphere? Yes, yes, oxygen and carbon dioxide. Very, very important. Coming to the question number 3. Which layer of the forest receives maximum sunlight? So we have studied about different layers of forest, right? So which among the following options will receive maximum sunlight? That is our question. Let's see. Canopy, understory, forest floor, shrub layer. What will be the right answer, dears? Yes, option A, canopy, right? So canopy is the layer of forest that will receive the maximum sunlight. Very, very important. So canopy will receive the maximum sunlight in the forest. Okay. Coming to question number 4. Which of the following is not a forest product? I repeat, not. You have to check whether it is asking for that particular option or it is not. Okay, which of the following is not a forest product? We know that red gum is a forest product, plywood is a forest product, sealing wax is a forest product, kerosene is not a forest product, right? So, which of the following is not a forest product? Dears, kerosene. See, kerosene is not a forest product. So, the right answer for this particular question is option D, kerosene. Okay. Coming to question number 5. The first link in all the food chains. So we know what is food chain, right? The linear relationship that shows whom is eaten by who. Okay. So in this particular food chain, who will be the first link, dears? Is it herbivores? No. Is it carnivores? No. Is it green plants? Yes. Why green plants will be always occupy the first position of a food chain, dears? Yes, we know that, right? Green plants are producers. Green plants are producers. They are also called autotrophs, right? They are also called autotrophs because they are the primary source of food. So green plants, which are also called autotrophs, will be the primary source of food. That is why green plants will be the first link of all food chain. Very, very important. Option C, green plants will be the right answer. Coming to question number 6. Which of the following does a forest prevent? Okay, which among the following will helps to which will prevented by the forest? Floods, soil erosion, water table from going down, all of the above. So we know that all these three are harmful for our environment, right? It will create damage and destructions in our ecosystem or our environment. So what will forests do? They will prevent all of these, right? They will prevent flood, they will prevent soil erosion, they will prevent water table from going down. So the answer will be option D. All of the above will be the right answer. So which of the following does the forest prevent, dears? All of the above. Flood, soil erosion, water table from going down, all these will be prevented by the forest. Okay. Coming to question number 7. Forests are not responsible for. Forests are not responsible for. Let's see the option. Providing medicinal plants. They are responsible for, right? They are actually responsible for. Maintaining the flow of water into the streams. That is also done by forest. Creating flood conditions. No, right? Forests are not responsible for creating flood conditions. What about the D option? Absorbing rainwater and maintaining water table. That is also one of the function of the forest. So they are not responsible for. Option C, creating flood conditions will be the right answer. Creating flood conditions. They are not able to, they are not responsible for creating flood conditions. Right? They will prevent flood. They will prevent the natural calamities such as that of flood, right? So forests are not responsible for creating flood conditions will be the appropriate answer for this particular question. Clear, dears? Shall we continue? Okay, coming to question number 8. Which one of the following is an animal product? Which among the following is an animal product? Let's see, which is a very simple question. Gum is a plant product, right? Catechu is a plant product. Rubber is a plant product. We know that. So what will be the right answer, dears? Option C, honey. Honey bees, right? So that are animal products. Honey will be the right answer. So which among the following is an animal product? Yes, honey will be the right answer. Option C, honey will be the appropriate answer for this particular question. Coming to question number 9. Which of the following statement is not correct? Incorrect. You have to find the incorrect statement from these 4 options. Let's see. Forests protect the soil from erosion. Is that a correct statement here? Forests protect the soil from erosion. It will prevent soil erosion. That is a correct statement. Let's go to option C. Forests influence the climate and water cycle. Do they influence climate and water cycle? Yes, definitely they will influence the climate and water cycle, right? Soil helps forests to grow and regenerate. Soil helps forests to grow and regenerate. That is also a correct statement. So what will be the correct answer here? The not correct statement is what? Option B. See, Plants and animals in a forest are not dependent on each other. They are always dependent on each other, right? So that is a very wrong statement. So option B is the incorrect or the not correct statement from these four options, which is plants and animals in a forest are not dependent on another. Actually, they are dependent on one another. So option B will be the right answer. This is the incorrect statement. All the other three statements are correct. Clear? Shall we continue? Yes, coming to the question number 10. Microorganisms act upon the dead plants. Microorganisms act upon the dead plants to produce what? Before that, let me ask that particular question. Why do microorganisms act on dead plants, dears? What is the significance of that particular process? What is that process actually? Yes, decomposition. Right, the actual process is decomposition. So as a result of decomposition, microorganisms, like what are the different types of microorganisms that are performing decomposition? Yes, some sorts of bacteria and fungus. Right. They will act upon dead wastes to produce which among the following options? Let's see. Sand, mushroom, humus, wood. What will be the right answer? Yes, option C, right. So as a result of decomposition, what will be produced? Humus. The decomposed product is called humus, which is very rich in organic matter, right? Which is very rich in organic matter, and they are coming back to soil, which will help the further plants to grow more, right? So answer will be option C, humus. So microorganisms act upon dead plants to produce what? To produce humus. That particular process is called decomposition. What are the two examples for decomposers? That might be bacteria and fungus. Clear, dear? Shall we continue? Okay, coming to the next section, which is assertion and reasoning questions. Very, very important section, right? This might be a confusing section. Let's see. See, you know the basic rules of assertion and reasoning, but still I'll explain it for you. We'll be provided with two statements. One will be the assertion statement and one will be the reason statement. So you have to analyze these both statements and you have to find the appropriate answer from these four options, more or like that of MCQ itself. Let's see. What are the options given? See, option A will be both A and R are true and R is the correct explanation of A. Is that the, for example, if when it comes to you are analyzing both these statements, assertion is true, reason is also true, but there is a connection between these two, like the reason will be the correct reason for the particular assertion. Okay, if that is the case, the answer will be option A. Both A and R are true and R is the correct explanation of A. If both A and R are true, but R is not the correct explanation, if the two statements are correct, but it has nothing to do with each other, it doesn't make sense with each other, then it will be option B. Both A and R are true, but R is not the correct explanation of A. What about C? A will be true and R will be false. Assertion will be the correct statement and the reason will be false. Okay, if that the case, then it will be option C. If in reverse manner, when it comes to assertion is false but reason is true, then it will be option D. Let's see some of the questions, then you might be able to understand more about this particular section. Coming to question number 11. Assertion is deforestation destroys an ecosystem. Is that a correct statement? Yes, deforestation. What is deforestation? We know what is deforestation, right? Cutting of trees. Cutting of trees for human purposes or other animal purposes is called deforestation. So deforestation destroys an ecosystem. Is that a correct statement? Yes, that is the correct statement. Now, forest is cleared to cultivate crops. That is also a correct statement, right? So some might be clearing the forest for agricultural purposes also. So that both are correct statement. Now it might be a confusion if it is A or if it is B. If there is a confusion between these two, then you have to use the magical word because. Just use the word because. If it become a meaningful sentence, it will be A, or if it will be B. Let's see. Deforestation destroys an ecosystem because a forest is cleared to cultivate crops. Does it make any sense? Right, but both the statements are right. So answer will be option B. Both assertion and reason are true and R is not the correct explanation of A. It has nothing to do with each other. Both the statements are correct in a different manner. Right. So both A and R are true and R is not the correct explanation of A. Then it will be option B. Clear? Now coming to question number 12. See, different layers of vegetations are source of food and shelter for animals, birds and insects. See, different layers of vegetations are the source of food and shelter for animals such as birds or insects. Okay. Reason is that is a correct statement, right? Coming to reason, the animals like boar, bison, jackals, elephants live in the deeper areas of forest. That is also a correct statement. But if we use because here, will you get a meaningful sentence, dears? No, right? Both the statements are correct in a different manner. So it will be again option B. Both assertion and reason are true and R is not the correct explanation of A. Both the assertion and reason are true and R is not the correct explanation of A. Am I clear? Okay, coming to question number 13. When animals dies in a forest, it become food for vultures, crows, jackals and insects. Is that a correct statement? When animals dies in a forest, it becomes the food for vultures, crows, jackals and insects. That is the correct statement, right? It will become eventually the food for other organisms. What about the reason? Let's see. Deforestation will not cause soil erosion. Is that the correct statement? Yes. No, right? Deforestation will definitely cause soil erosion. So this statement is wrong. So answer will be A is true and R is false. Assertion is true and reason is false. Which of the options will be correct? Option C. Option C, assertion is true, reason is false will be the correct answer. Coming to question number 14. In an ecosystem, all food chain starts with plants. Is that a correct statement? In an ecosystem, all food chains will definitely start with plants. Yes, right, because we have already previously discussed in the MCQ session, right? See, coming to reason, plants are producers. They are primary source of food. Is that a correct statement, dears? Plants are producers. They are the primary source of food. Yes, that is also a correct statement. Now you have to use the word because. In an ecosystem, all food chains are starts with plants because why they are starting with plants? The correct reason is mentioned here, right? Plants are producers. They are the primary source of food. Plants are producers and they are the primary source of food. So option A will be the right answer. Both assertion and reason are true. And R is the correct explanation of A. Both assertion and reason are true and R is the correct explanation of A. I hope this question is clear to you. Now, coming to question number 15. Forests do not influence the climate and water cycle. They will definitely influence the climate and water cycle, right? So that is a wrong statement. Forests will influence. Forests do not influence the climate and water cycle is a wrong statement. Coming to reason. Heavy rains and deforestation causes loss of soil. Do heavy rains or deforestation causes loss of soil? Yes, it will definitely cause loss of soil, right? So the assertion is false. Option D will be the right answer. Assertion is false and reason is true. Assertion will be wrong and the reason will be true. I hope these 15 questions are clear to you. Very, very important. This is the way you should approach the assertion and reasoning questions. If you approach in this particular manner, it will be very, very easy for you. So shall we continue? Now coming to very short answers questions. It might be a 2-mark question or it might be related to something like a sub question of a long answer question. Okay, coming to the question number 16. What are decomposers? Name any of them. What is their role in the forest? Okay, what are decomposers, dears? We know that the microorganisms which will convert the dead plants and animals to humus are known as decomposers. Very, very important. The microorganisms such as bacteria, they have given the example, right? Bacteria and fungus. So there are 3 questions in this particular single question. So you have to answer all the question in a single line manner. Okay, so the microorganisms which convert the dead plants and animals to humus are known as decomposers. Example, bacteria and fungi. See, what is the major role in their forest? What is the purpose of this decomposition? If decomposition is doesn't happening, what will happen? We know that dead bodies will be keep on accumulating, right? If decomposition takes place, the organic matter or the nutrients present in the dead and decaying matter will be reverting back to the soil, so it will become the other plants to grow further, right? So the microorganisms plays an important role in the forest. How? The presence of humus ensures that nutrients of the dead plants and animals are released to the soil back. From there, these nutrients are again absorbed by the roots of the living plants. This is a very important question. So the nutrients which are coming back to the soil in the form of humus will become the nutrients for the other plants to grow. Okay, that is what the significance of decomposition. Very important. And this whole process is called the decomposition. The one who perform decomposition is called the decomposers. What are the product of decomposition? Humus is the product of decomposition. Very important. Shall we continue? Okay. Coming to question number 17, which is a very easy question. Why do we call forest as green lungs? Why do we call forest as green lungs? So what is the purpose of lungs in our human body? It will helps in exchange of gases such as carbon dioxide and oxygen, right? It will helps in the exchange of gases such as carbon dioxide and oxygen. So the plants helps to provide oxygen for animal balance of oxygen and carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. So it will helps in maintaining the exchange of gases, carbon dioxide for photosynthesis and oxygen for respiration by means of this forest. That is why they are called green lungs. Very important. That is why, that is the only reason that the forests are called the green lungs. Very important. Okay, coming to question number 18. Mention two human activities that leads to deforestation. So what is deforestation again? Cutting of trees are called deforestation. Cutting of trees for human purpose or for man-made purposes is called deforestation. So what will be the major man-made purposes? Let's see. Clearing land for agriculture, building industries. You have to add your own points here. Okay, I'm just simply mentioning the two human activities here. Clearing land for agriculture. So they need land for agriculture, right? So they will clear forest and they will use that particular property for the purpose of agriculture. So building industries. All these might be the human activities that leads to deforestation. Very important. Coming to question number 19. Write any four ways in which forests are useful for us. Very important question. That is a general question. What are the different ways in which forests are useful for us? Yes, they will help in controlling floods, right? They will definitely help in controlling natural calamities such that of floods. Okay, they will prevent soil erosion. The forest will prevent soil erosion. What is soil erosion, dears? The removal or the layering of top fertile layer of soil is called the soil erosion, right? So if there are forests, if there are a well healthy forest in a particular place, it will definitely prevent what? It will prevent soil erosion. Okay, what is the another advantage of forest? It will provide habitat to large animals like that of lion, tiger, elephant. So forests are the land or the shelter of many large animals, which is very important for our food chain, right? So it provides habitat to larger animals. And it is also a source of good medicinal plants. You might have heard about tribals, right? So they are actually preparing the medicinal plants from the forest. So it will become the medicines for the diseases, for the very dangerous diseases, right? So it will become the sources of medicinal plants. What are the major ways in which forests are useful for us? Helps in controlling floods, prevents soil erosion, provides habitat for larger animals. It is a source of medicinal plants. Very important. Okay, shall we continue? Coming to question number 20. What is food chain? Give an example. So we have discussed what is a food chain, right? The dependence of various animals and plants over each other for food is known as food chain. The dependence or the linear chain. It is a linear chain that shows the feeding habitat of different organisms. That shows the feeding habit of different organisms in an ecosystem is called what? Food chain, right? So let's see the example for the food chain. Yes, it will always start from plants, very very important. It is followed by always a herbivore. That one is actually feeding on plants, right? See, grass, grasshopper, frog, snake, eagle. Grass, grasshopper, frog, snake, eagle will be the perfect example for a food chain. You can add your own variations here. Okay, so that is what we call it as a food chain. Very very important. Coming to question number 21. What is the difference between canopy and crown? What is the difference between canopy and crown, dears? What is canopy? The branches of tall trees look like a roof over the plant in a forest. It looks like a roof in the forest, right? That particular part is called what? Canopy. The branches of tall trees that look like a roof over the plants in the forest is called canopy. What about crown, dears? Branchy part of a tree above the stem. So the branchy part of a tree above the stem is called the crown. The branchy part of a tree above the particular stem is called a crown. That is the difference between canopy and the crown. Very, very important. Repeated previous question also. Okay. Shall we continue? Coming to the next session, which is short answers questions. This might be a 3-mark question or it might be a sub question for a long answer question. Okay. Question number 22. Why is a forest called a dynamic living entity? Why forest is called a dynamic living entity, right? Because it is very huge, right? See, large number of herbivores means increased availability of food for a variety of carnivores. So we know that when you imagine a forest, the thing that is coming to your mind is a group of tall trees, right? So if there are trees present, if there are plants present, there might be a large amount of herbivores for feeding the plants, right? If there are herbivores present, definitely they are going to fed by what? The carnivores. So they will be having plants, all the food chain components, right? All the trophic levels of the food chain will be present in the entire forest. See, large number of herbivores means increased availability of food for a variety of carnivores. The wide variety of animals help the forest to regenerate and grow, decompose. So apart from that, there are number of waste is going to happen as a result of the death of these organisms, right? So decomposers helps in maintaining the supply of nutrients to the growing plants in the forest, right? So they are going to maintain the supply of these nutrients again back to the soil. So therefore, the forest is considered as a dynamic living entity. Very very important question. Why the forest is called a dynamic living entity? I hope that is clear. Coming to question number 23. List two reasons why forests are important in controlling flood. Why forests are important in controlling flood, dears? Let's see. See, we know that flood is a natural calamity, right? Due to the increase in rainfall, the water become more and more abundant in such a way that they will cause the flooding. Okay, see how it can be prevented by forest. Let's see. Forest act as a natural absorber of rainwater and allows it to sweep, right? Though they act as a natural absorber and it will allow them to seep. What about the other point? It helps to maintain the water table throughout the air. It will helps to maintain the groundwater level throughout the year. What about the other point? See, if trees are not present, rain hits the ground directly and may flood the area around it. So if trees are not present, rain hits the ground directly and may flood the area around it. So that is why the forests are very important in controlling flood. That is also another important question. Okay, shall we continue? Coming to question number 24. Why forests are important for maintaining water cycle? Why forests are important for maintaining water cycle, dears? Why the forests are important for maintaining water cycle? We know that, right? Forests are present trees. Trees will help in transpiration. So you know what is transpiration, right? What is transpiration? Loss of water in the form of water vapor, in the form of water vapor. So we know that the rain will comes due to the condensation of this water vapor, right? So forests play an important role in maintaining water cycle through transpiration, preventing soil erosion and allow the sweeping of groundwater. So they will maintain water cycle through transpiration, because if there is transpiration, water vapor will be present in the atmosphere. It will condense, it will cause rain, right? Then preventing soil erosion, it will definitely prevent soil erosion, and it allows the seeping of groundwater also. It also maintain water levels in rivers and lakes by ensuring the continuous flow of water from groundwater, right? Very, very important point. It also helps in maintain water levels in rivers and lakes by ensuring the continuous flow of water from the groundwater. Thus, forests act as an important role in maintaining water cycle. Very, very important question. Thus, forests act as important for maintaining water cycle. Am I clear? Okay, shall we continue? Coming to question number 25. What is the major difference between humus and decomposers? What is the major difference between humus and decomposers, dears? Very, very important, right? So it is very, the concept that you have to apply here in this particular question is decomposition. Again came the question, that shows the importance of this particular topic. Okay, decomposition. See, what is humus, dears? Microorganisms feed upon the dead plant and animal tissues and convert them back to dark colored substances, which is very, very rich in organic matter that will help the further plants to grow. Right. That particular substance is called humus, or simply you can say the product of decomposition is called what? Humus. The microorganisms feed upon the dead plant and animal tissues and convert them into dark colored substance called humus. This particular material is called what? Humus. And what about decomposers? They are that particular microorganism which convert the dead plants and animals to humus. The one that is doing that purpose is called what? Decomposers. Very, very important. For example, you can write bacteria, fungus like mushrooms. All these will be the examples for decomposers. Very, very important. Coming to some of the long answer questions, let's see. This might be a 5-mark question. Okay, 5 to 4-mark question. Let's see. What do you mean by deforestation? How does it affect our environment? What do you mean by deforestation, dears? What is deforestation actually? And we know the removal of clearing of trees in a forest is called deforestation. The process by which trees are cleared for another purposes is called deforestation. How it will affect our environment? See, if forests are cleared, we know that the number of trees are gradually reduced. What will happen? See, if there is no trees, the carbon dioxide level will be increasing in the atmosphere. Right, the level of carbon dioxide, because there are no plants to take it for photosynthesis. So as a result, what will happen? Carbon dioxide level will be increased. So if the carbon dioxide level increase, what will happen? Yes, we have studied in the previous classes, right? What was that? Global warming will be taken place. What is global warming? The increase in carbon dioxide causes the increase in temperature of our earth. If the carbon dioxide level is gradually increasing, what will happen? The temperature of our earth will keeps on increasing, right? So the amount of carbon dioxide in air will increase, result in the increase of earth's temperature. That particular process is called global warming. So if deforestation takes place, level of carbon dioxide increases. As a result, global warming will be taking place. See, if there is no trees, many plants and animals will not get food and water. See, if the in the absence of trees and plants, animals will not get what? Animals will not get enough food and shelter. And the soil will not hold water, which will cause us flood, and it will also causes soil erosion also. So it will be leading to natural calamities like that of flood. It will lead to global warming. It will lead to habitat loss of certain animals. Right. So that will be the adverse effect of our environment by the process of deforestation. Very, very important. Okay, coming to the next question. People say that nothing goes waste in the forest. Can you explain how we know that, right? When it comes to forest, there are decomposers as well as what present? Scavengers present, right? See, nothing goes waste in the forest because dried leaves and remains of dead animals are converted to a dark colored substance called humus. They provide nutrients to plants. We know what that about decomposition, right? What about the other one? Dead animals become food for vultures, crows, jackals, and insects, also called scavengers, right? Scavengers. So dead animals become food for vultures, crows, jackals, and insects. And when it comes to other purpose like that of broken branches of trees are used as fuel by people living in the vicinity of forests. For example, such that of tribals. They will use the broken branches of trees for their fuel purpose. Okay, so that will be the that is why it is said that people say that nothing goes waste in the forest because there are decomposition takes place, there are scavenging takes place. Clear, yes? Okay, coming to question number 28. Let's see. Y and Z are two types of organisms found in forest. So there is a symbolic representation. There is an organism called Y and there is an organism called Z. You have to find based on the given hint. Okay. Y eats some dead animals, while Z break down the body of dead animals into simpler substances. You might have known for right what is the Y and Z represents here. See, what is the general organism for Y? What is the general organism for Y, dears? Yes, option A, scavenger will be the right answer. Scavenger. And the next question. Write one example for the Y type. Write one example, vultures, right? Vultures are the perfect example for what? The scavengers. What is the general name for organism? Is it? So what will this is it do? They will convert the nutrients back to the soil. So they are decomposers, right? So option C will be decomposers. Write one example for the Z type of organism. They are mushrooms or fungus, or you can write bacteria also. So the concept that has to be applied here is decomposers and scavengers. Clear, yes? Very, very important question. You have to expect this type of questions from this chapter. You have to apply that particular concept, then you have to find the answers. Okay, that is a smart way to think about it and find out the answer. Okay. Now coming to the last session, which is a case study based question. So you know the rule of case study, right? The passage might be given and you have to read the passage thoroughly and you are supposed to answer the following questions. Let's see. Sachin lives in a village. Question number 29. Sachin is a student like you. He lives in a village. The village is surrounded by forest. One day, he noticed that nearby pond sedimentation is increased so that the water become more muddy, streams are drying up. So when he were wandering around the forest, here he came to know that pond are becoming muddy and the streams are drying up. And he also noticed that there is a scarcity of fuel wood also. He soon realized that he has to raise the issue of forest protection from cutting down trees, etc. Soon he involved the nearby village people. He is very smart, right? See, he involved in nearby village people and made an organization to take an initiative. Let's see the question. What changes might have such a noticed in this area? What is the change such a noticed in this area, dears? Yes, Sachin noticed the disturbance of water cycle. That is why the streams were drying up, right? Streams drying up, pond water getting muddy, less availability of fuel wood. So that might be a reason why the water cycle is disturbing. Give one probable reason for such changes mentioned. What might be the reason? We know that, right? Deforestation might be the reason. And there is a value based question here. What are the values shown by Sachin? So if you are in place of Sachin, what will be you are doing? So if you have a proper love for nature, and if we have something benefit when you study this chapter, see, love for nature and environmental consciousness, actually this is the answer you have to be written by your own. What are the values shown by Sachin? This is your value based question. Okay, he shows love for nature and environmental consciousness, very very important. Okay, so I hope you know the situation, and I hope you know how to understand and how to answer these type of particular questions. Shall we continue? Yes, coming to the question number 30. See, this is the last question of this particular session. Let's see. A snake charmer came to the society and smelled the presence of cobra, snake, cobra, king cobra near the guard room. The head of the society agreed the man to search, catch, and kill the snake. Okay, so he was allowed by the main people in the society to kill that particular snake. Little Rishi, like a student like you, Little Rishi. So the hero of this particular passage is Rishi. So who was seeing all this disagree? He disagreed to kill the snake. See, this is a hypothetical question actually. Okay, he explained that people it might disturb the food chain in the environment. So the coming questions will be related definitely with the food chain. Right. Now answer the following questions. Let's see. What is a food chain? We know what is a food chain, right? The sequence of living organisms in which one organism eats another is called a food chain. So the sequence of living organism in which one particular organism eats, and one is eaten. Whom is eaten by who? The relationship shows the different organisms for food is called a food chain, right? Sorry. Construct a food chain involving snake at one of its level. You have to include snake in that particular food chain. You have to find an example. Very easy, right? Grass, which is a producer. Insect, which is a herbivore. Coming to carnivore, frog. Then large carnivore like that of snake, and top carnivore like scavengers like that of eagle, right? You can add your own creative food chain, but you have to be very in common sense, and you have to follow the steps. First one will be always a producer. Second one will be always a herbivore. Then a small carnivore. Then a large carnivore. Then a top carnivore. And it should not exceed more than 5 levels. More than 4 to 5 levels. That is how you should create a food chain. What are the rules to create food chain? First will be plants. First position will be always plants. Second position will be always a herbivore. Then a herbivore is eaten by small carnivore. Okay. Then it has to be eaten by large carnivore. Then top carnivore. It should not be exceed more than 5 or 4 trophic level. Clear, dears? Okay. What are the values shown by Rishi here? What are the values shown by Rishi here? He has a scientific attitude and obligation to maintain the ecosystem of nature. So he might also study this chapter forest or lifeline, right? That is why he know that if we kill some of the organism in a particular food chain, what will happen? It will eventually disrupt the entire food chain. So he is very curious and he has a scientific attitude, and he has an obligation to maintain the ecosystem of the nature. So that is all about today. So I hope the content is very much clear to you. So I wish all the best for the upcoming examination. So we'll meet you in the upcoming classes. So until then, bye. Thank you so much. Good night.